What's up, you guys? Corey Hankerson here for Legacy Tax and Financial Planning. Today is Thursday, April the 16th, 2020. I'm going to give you guys an update from the most recent and latest information on these daggone stimulus checks. Man, these stimulus checks has the internet on fire. Everybody is just asking all sorts of questions. Where's my money? What's going on with my check? Who took my money? So I'm going to try to answer those questions along with what's going on with the IRS website in terms of the payment portal that was promised to us. Where's the portal? How do I change my information? Somebody stole my check. Who stole my check? I'm going to answer that question. If you stick around to the end, you won't believe who stole your stimulus check. It's crazy out here. And then what else? Oh my gosh, people. Probably the number two question behind who stole my money is, do I have to pay it back? So I'm going to answer all those questions today, right on the other side of the break. Check it out. All right, guys, Corey Hankerson here from Legacy Tax and Financial Planning, author of End the Tax Nightmare, Insider Secrets to Beat the IRS and Reduce Your Tax Debt. Today, I'm going to talk about those stimulus checks like I just promised you guys. We're going to give all the latest updates and news on those daggone stimulus checks. Before I do that, though, if you haven't already done so, I want you guys to please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help us get that subscriber count up. We're really trying to jump over 1,000 subs today. Hopefully we can do that. You guys help me out. And also go ahead and follow us on social. You can like us on Facebook at Legacy Tax and Financial Planning, as well as follow me on Instagram at Ice Cold Tax Pro. All right, guys, these stimulus checks. Everybody wants to know. So I'm just going to dive right in and knock out these questions one at a time that I seem to be getting over and over and over again, the same comments, same questions in the comments. And if you watch the video to the end, we're going to go into probably the juiciest tidbit of all on these stimulus checks. Who stole my check? And I'm going to just tell you straight up, the answer is probably your bank. All right, and we're going to get to how that's going down, how the banks are stealing the stimulus checks. If you stick around to the end of the video, you'll be surprised. All right, so the first thing here is how do I check my status, right? So the IRS has a brand new portal up. They promised the portal to come out, and they actually delivered it ahead of time. So props to the IRS on that. It's not often that they deliver ahead of time, but this time they did. It was exactly what they promised, and they got it out early. So you can go to irs.gov/EIP. That's EIP. I'll put a graphic down below here showing you that link, that website, irs.gov/EIP. You can check the status and see where your payment is. Boom, you know where your money is. But that leads us right to the second question, right? Which is when I check my status, it says payment status not available. What up with that? All right, so a lot of people are saying that. They go onto the website, they've checked it, and it's telling them payment status not available. Okay, so the IRS is aware. This is apparently, they're saying it's just an error, a glitch in the matrix, if you will. And they're working on it and they're fixing it right now, according to IRS spokesperson Mr. Eric Smith. They are working on it and they expect to have it updated and fixed ASAP. Okay, what else we got here? How do I change my information? That one is popping up a lot, right? So again, according to the IRS, it's only there's really only one way to do it, to be honest. So they're basing these stimulus checks off of your 2018 or 2019 tax return, whichever is the most recent, right? So if you filed in 28, and when I say they're basing the stimulus checks, what I mean is that they're using your address off of your 18 or 19 tax return, and they're using your banking information off of your 18 or 19 tax return. So if you use direct deposit, they're going to direct deposit your stimulus check into that account that was used for your 2018 or 2019 tax return. If you didn't, then they're going to mail you a paper check to whatever address you used on your 2018 or 2019 tax return. So again, that's how they're doing that. So the question I keep getting is, how do I change it, right? How do I change that information? So here we go. If you didn't file, if you've not yet filed for 2018, I'm sorry, if you've not yet filed for 2019, then they're going to use your 2018 tax return, right? So if you want to change the information on your 2018 tax return, let's say you don't bank at that bank anymore, or you don't live at that address anymore, the only way to change it is to file your 2019 tax return, right? Let me say that again. If you want to change the information that you provided to the IRS on your 2018 tax return, the only way to change it is to file your 2019 tax return, okay? That's what I've been saying all along. Don't trust these portals and all that old foolishness. The tried and true method, the best way, the surefire way to do it is to file a tax return, right? So you file your 2019 tax return. That will update your information. If you want to change your 2019 information, I'm sorry, but you can't change it. You can't make changes to your 2019 information. They are, according to the most recent information they have as of today, they are going to use the information that was on your 2019 tax return. You cannot change it. You cannot update it. Okay. So that's the second one here. Do I have to pay it back? Man, that one keeps popping up. That's like all over the internet, right? And I think that's probably stemming from the language in the CARES Act itself, which in the act it's called an advanced refundable tax credit. And I get it. I see why that's causing problems. But the answer to that question, according to IRS spokesperson Patricia McLaughlin, that no, it's not actually an advance in the true sense of the word. Again, I know it says an advanced refundable tax credit, but it's not a real advance, right? The IRS says this is not an advance and there is absolutely no obligation to pay it back. So in other words, you're not going to have to repay the amount that you've gotten. You're not going to have to pay this $1,200 back, right? I know a lot of people are saying that if you get the $1,200 stimulus, then you're automatically going to owe when you file your back taxes next year. Again, according to the IRS, that is absolutely not true. So there it is, right? You don't have to pay it back. Okay, so now the next one is, who stole my stimulus payment, right? And the answer to that one is scandalous. It's crazy. As I sort of hinted before, the answer may very well be your bank stole your stimulus payment. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so I'm just going to read directly from the IRS website here. And it says, Congress did not exempt CARES Act payments from private debt collection. And the Treasury Department has been reluctant to exempt them through its rulemaking authority. This means that individuals could see their payments transferred from their hands into the hands of creditors, potentially leaving them with nothing. Banks would be the first in line to grab the payments to offset delinquent loans or past due fees, even if the individual thinks that their account with the bank has been closed. If the payments post there, the bank can conceivably use them to cover old debts, right? This is according to Rhonda Kent, who is the Chief Disbursing Officer with the U.S. Treasury's Office or Bureau of Fiscal Service, right? She was heard saying that the banks had posed this question to her about whether these payments could be subject to collection from the bank, to which the money has already been deposited, right? And that's if the payee, meaning you, owe an outstanding loan or other fees or payments to the bank. And her response, she was asked this question twice, and her response was, there's nothing in the law that precludes that action, which means this. There's nothing out there that says they can't, right? So in the past, direct payments from the Treasury, such as your Social Security and other payments that the government is issuing you directly, including other stimulus payments that have been done in the past, were exempt from offset by creditors. But with the CARES Act, that didn't happen. They didn't put that language in the CARES Act exempting these direct payments from offset. So therefore, the banks are free to go ahead and take your money, basically, if you owe them fees or something like that, right? So that's what's happening to a lot of people. Their stimulus checks are being intercepted by third-party banks. Now, there's this video going around YouTube. I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times. It popped up on my Twitter, and it's talking about a tax office in Richmond County, which I think is in Virginia, where it's called City Tax Financial. Yeah, City Tax Financial, where they basically had a small mob of folks outside their office. They had to call in the sheriff's department or whatnot to keep the peace, because these people were hot, man. They were mad because their stimulus check had been offset, taken by their bank, right? And the reason was apparently that these folk had received what you called a refund anticipation loan. And for whatever reason, they didn't get a refund that was anticipated. So the bank had been left holding the bag. So let me explain what that means. If you use a bank product like a refund anticipation loan to get your tax refund, and millions, like 20 million people do that every single year. So, they're not the only one, right? That are out there doing this. A lot of people do. But if you use a bank product to get your tax refund, but then for whatever reason you don't actually get the refund, then the bank is left holding the bag. So if you unpack that a little bit, right? So you go into the tax office and you say, look, I'm expecting a $5,000 refund, right? Based on, all of my information here, tax credits, et cetera, et cetera. I'm expecting a $5,000 refund, but I don't want to wait 3 weeks for the IRS to mail me that payment. So a bank will say, okay, fine, we'll loan you the money, the $5,000 that you're anticipating as a tax refund, and then we'll take it out of the refund when you ultimately get it, right? And they're willing to do that for a pretty large fee, actually, right? But what happens if you end up owing child support, or there's a judgment against you, or you owe back taxes, or student loans, or any of the other things that could affect your tax refund? Now, you didn't get the refund, so the bank was left holding the bag. That's what happened to a lot of these people. They owed child support. They may have owed, back taxes or whatever, so they didn't get a refund, but they had previously taken out a refund anticipation loan. So they owed money to the bank, right? If you follow what I'm saying, they owed money to the bank. So when these stimulus checks came in, a lot of these people had their stimulus check offset or taken to cover the money that they already owed back to the bank, right? So then you say, well, that's just those folks. I don't use those refund anticipation loan products, and that's cool. I don't use them either. I don't even offer them in my tax practice. So it's not a problem here. But there are other ways that your bank can steal your stimulus check because they're crafty, right? So you got credit cards. If you owe a credit card balance to your bank, and your stimulus check is direct deposited to the bank can take your stimulus check to offset your credit card balance. If you owe a payday loan, if you owe an auto loan, if you have overdraft charges, right? If you have past due overdraft charges that you owe to the bank because you were, bouncing checks or bouncing payments, then they can take your stimulus payment to offset those overdraft charges. If you had even a store credit card, right? Like everybody got that first JCPenney's card, or you got that old Staples card that you never paid off. Well, if you have your stimulus check deposited to the bank that issued that store charge and you didn't pay it off, even though it was 10 years ago, they can now offset your stimulus charge, your stimulus money, to pay off that old store charge. So watch out, be careful where you're having your money direct deposit. I know everybody wants to get it quick, but that could potentially be a way that you lose your stimulus, right? So take note, the banks are out there doing this. All right, guys, so that's my update for today on these daggone stimulus checks. Boy, it's got the internet on fire, and everybody's talking about what's going on with these stimulus payments. Hey, look, guys, if you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. I am trying to grow the channel. We do need more subscribers. Please go ahead and do that. Hit that like button and the notification bell, and also feel free to follow us on social on all the different platforms. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at Ice Cold Tax Pro. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.